Hey dorks, just a quick message reminding you to head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast and give us a follow. We live stream when we record our new podcast episodes, and we're live streaming video game sessions on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We're playing super rad stuff like Among Us, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, Jackbox games, and Tabletop Simulator. Come hang out and play along with us. That's twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Mind Gap Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin.
And joining us on this week's episode, returning from a few months ago, from the back in the cold depths of February, he has returned victorious with music to speak about and share. Please welcome back Austen Reno.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me again. It's a pleasure.
We are so glad to have you back, man. And the best circumstances, too, because you got new shit coming out, and it's good.
Mm-hmm. I do. I have new stuff coming out. Thank you.
Thanks for editing what I said. That's cool. Make me feel weird. I do have a record that's coming out, and it's...
There's new music.
Yes.
I'm trying to swear and shit.
I just went over to... There you go. I was on the other one because I was waiting to bring this in.
Oh.
0.7 seconds.
Yes.
Of the new track.
That's right.
0.7 seconds. Yeah.
Because it won't get us in trouble.
Yeah, right. Because we don't want to do that.
So I just posted a TikTok using my own sound, and they muted it because of and it had like 2,000 views, and they muted it because of a copyright issue. And I'm like, this is my song, dude. Like, I distributed it to TikTok.
How frustrating is that? How frustrating is that? You're like, this is my shit, man.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. Well, because like I'm not gonna lie, I got like 2,000 views because like I did like a paid promotion on TikTok. So like all my other views got like 100 views or whatever. But yeah, I did a paid promotion on TikTok, and then they muted it, and they wouldn't let me end the promotion. So like they made me finish the paid promotion while it was muted.
That's bullshit.
I know.
Wow.
Pretty sick. That's like classic TikTok, though, from what I hear, anyway.
Jesus.
Yeah, fuck TikTok.
Yeah, fuck them. They're taking your data and putting it in places you don't want to know about.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right in TikTok's rear end.
Sly says, for real, though, I've been interacting on your socials because I truly dig your music, and I always blindly support things I like on social.
That's really, really nice. Thank you for saying that. That's really nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Keep
interacting.
It feels good, right? Yeah. When you're like, hey, thank you for interacting with me. I'm not just screaming into the void.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because it feels like that a lot of the time.
It sure does.
Oh, that tracks, yeah.
It sure does. Well, we're going to get into, your EP that's coming out, your single that's currently out now, and all that other stuff. But before we do, let's go through a little bit of Housekeeping. First things first, if you don't already, please make sure to follow us on Spotify. We're on other places, but definitely check us out on Spotify. Also, if you feel so inclined, that was me speaking backwards. If you feel so inclined, come check out our Discord server. It's a great place where a bunch of us dorks hang out. We, get together for game nights. We share awesome memes like the wonderful Zenny. She's a wonderful curator of 9gag, always posting great stuff from there. It's really just a great community. I really love it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's so nice to have a collective of people that I talk to every day and can easily just not burp into the mic. Pull together if we want to.
Professional.
Have you seen that video of that kid who's like, yeah, but can you chug a LaCroix without burping? And he just like tries to chug it and chug it and chug it. And then he goes, oh God, what have I done? And then he runs into a garage door.
Nope.
That's a good one. You guys should watch it.
I've seen that, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. But yeah, so we post stuff like that on our Discord server, so you can come check that out. So if you want to join, it's just head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Down in our About section, you'll see a little button that says Discord. Click on that. It'll take you right on over. Welcome to the family. We'd love to see you. Also, we have merch at redbubble.com. Head over to Redbubble, type in Mind Gap Podcast. You'll see the stuff that we've got. I've got an idea for some new merch. So keep your eyes open. Teespring, you get the fuck out of here with that, Noah Reno. Teespring. I'm sorry, it's just called Spring now because they're like, we gotta change up our name because we suck. And we don't want people to know how bad we suck. So we're gonna change it to Spring. Fucking hate that place. Anyway, redbubble.com. Look for Mind Gap Podcast there. Check out our stuff. Get yourself something nice. You deserve it. Father's Day's right around the corner. You know, get you something nice for your father. Speaking of, check out this cool shit my wife got me for Father's Day.
Hey.
You can't see it if you're listening, but if you're on Twitch, it's a really fucking cool picture of the Joker from The Dark Knight. And you probably can't see it, but it says stuff like Kapow. It's got like comic stuff in there.
Oh, nice.
So this shit's getting hung up in my office.
It's like pop art meets Jackson Pollock meets something, but Joker.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
That's cool. It's cool.
Came tonight, I'm like, thank you.
My father was a podcaster.
Oh, that was so cool. Anyway, yeah, that's on Redbubble, but we got cool stuff there. Check that out. And last but not least, we live stream on Twitch every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central and every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central. Saturday nights are game nights, baby. And we have a really good time. So please check us out, twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Click the follow button. It'll turn on notifications so you know whenever we go live in case we have some special ones, which might happen this weekend. So just make sure you're following and check out when we're going live and come hang out with us. We've been playing a lot of cool games lately, one of which I'll talk about later on called Knockout City. It's fucking dope. It's dope as hell, and it's so cool. All right. That, my friends, is housekeeping. We need to have some sort of soundbite. It's like housekeeping or something when it's done.
I already made a note of it. I'm on it. Ultimately, while you were talking, I was taking notes with ideas, so we're good.
Fantastic. So Austin,
Same wavelength. Same wavelength.
We've got it. So here we go. Austen Reno is back. The last time you were here, we were talking about the cool stuff you'd already had out that was available and still is, and you should all check out. It's cool. But now, last Friday, you released a brand new single called No Hesitation.
Did you just say last?
Yeah.
Because that's what we did last time. Austin
Hey,
was
wait,
on.
Yeah,
Austin,
that's what we did last time. Yeah.
Austin, when does your EP come out?
This?
We got it.
Yeah, this Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But last Friday, you had an awesome video come out called No Hesitation, a new single, and it's phenomenal. It's excellent. You should all...
That's that. Right there.
Shun.
You can hear him saying hesitation.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's the best part of the song. That 1.7 seconds.
It's so good. It's such great. It's such great, as they say in all English-speaking places. And and you all should definitely check it out. So real quick, I mean, we'll do this again at the end. Where can people follow you? Where can they find your stuff right now? What's a good place for them to catch up on the Austen Reno show?
Yeah, so my on all social media is Austen Reno, AUSTENRENO. And since last episode we did, I have my website now, so everything and anything and everything is there at austinreno.com, including merch if you want to buy some stuff.
Sweet. I'm gonna have to go take a gander at that. That sounds awesome. Because I really love the design of the video. I love like the promo that you have. Like the artwork is very cool. It's got a very 80s style to it, which I typically hate the 80s, but something about this one just spoke to me. I'm like, this is cool. This is rad. I absolutely love it.
Conversely,
it's
I love
for the
80s.
meme.
Yeah.
I love
Okay, good. Yeah, it's but honestly though, it's like it's memeing out on the whole like vaporwave 80s thing And I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt, for God's sakes, and everything.
Great.
So like, it's kind of all just a big joke, but I think it like looks decent, I guess. So
I think it looks awesome.
The mustache as well. So.
Yes. Also
Thank you.
very, very good. It's very cool. So yes, please go check out Austen Reno at austenreno.com and check out all his stuff. But so tell everyone a little bit about the, so you had your single come out, your EP is dropping this Friday, which is June the 11th. Yes, it's Friday, June 11th when this EP is coming out. So what, tell us a little bit about the EP, like what went into it. Did you enjoy it? Was it fun? All the great interview questions people ask artists,
What inspired the album?
Yeah.
That thing.
What do the lyrics mean for no hesitation?
Yeah. What am I answering? Hold on. Because
all of them.
Wait, what?
You weren't listening? Answer the question, Austin. He's avoiding it.
Okay. I did enjoy making it. I started No Hesitation was the first song that I made for the whole thing. And it basically kind of started by accident. Because a little over a year ago, I had a buddy in Tennessee who was asking if I could make him like a podcast intro song. And so I made the instrumental, like the first 30 seconds of No Hesitation, like the piano and then when the beat drops and stuff. And I sent it to him and he didn't really like it. So I just like decided to finish the instrumental and just made the whole song. And then I was going to just put out that one song. And then I started messing around with some other instrumentals like in a similar vein. And yeah, it just kind of like fell together, I guess. But it was basically a year. So the whole time the pandemic was going on, that's kind of like been the project I've been working on.
That's really cool. And the name of the EP is Drivin 25, correct?
That's correct.
Nice.
Because I'm 25.
Oh, look at you, 25. And not only that,
now.
yeah, I get it. He's driving 25. I put it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. And you were kind enough to share some of the tracks with us, and they are great. And I said this last time, and I'll say this again. What I really like about you, be prepared for compliments, is you have such a varied style in the stuff that you make. Like when you make your things, like every single track is something like, ooh, what's this one gonna be like? And normally I'm kind of a guy that's like, hey, this sounds too different from the last one. This doesn't sound like a collective of things. But every single track was very enjoyable to listen to and had just such a unique style. And it was really cool to be like, wow, this is a very varied and, just, I don't know if eclectic's the right word, but it's very worldly, Words are hard for you tonight.
Sure.
To me, it's like an homage to music. Like you can tell that you are a fan of music because it seems as though you're having fun exploring not just one genre. You're not trying to pigeonhole yourself into one genre. So you're trying to just explore the concept of music and just do what you like. And it very much to me comes off as just an homage to music in general.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think none of it is on purpose. It all just falls together. It's all just one big swarm of chaos and particles that end up coming together. But yeah, I mean, I thank you. And I don't know. I just try to make something that I would want to listen to. So
that's really cool. So I don't know if we covered this last time, because if we did, I forgot. But like, what are some of your biggest musical influences?
So that's tough because like the music I listen to is not. I mean, I do listen to pop music and stuff, but a majority of the time I straight up just listen to like screamo bands and pop punk music and
now we're
stuff
talking
like that. So I don't know, like Yeah. I don't know. I think I pull a lot from everything. I mean, Frank Ocean and The Weeknd will always be like two big pop influences. And yeah, I don't know. It's tough for me to like analyze my own like lyrics and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's all just coming from a place of like emo boy sad shit generally. I don't know.
Jared just asked, did Doug just come after hearing Screamo and pop punk? Yes, I did. Thank you, Jared. I kept it together because I am a professional. All right, but I will change my pants after this.
You'll never hear him come.
They never do.
The only thing you'll hear when it happens is
I just poop ejaculated my moist missile.
There you go.
Sorry, there's a delay. So that
Austin's face was the best. He was like, "What?"
Oh yeah, what was that?
Yeah, that was a quote out of context from yours truly. So there we go.
Were you inebriated?
No, I don't drink. So everything I say, purely sober.
Okay.
So,
which makes it all the more better? Question mark.
That's what I call a victory sip.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I love pop punk stuff. I'm always a sucker for that, and some screamo stuff. So I'm right there with you. But I don't think I could. I'm so into that stuff. I don't think I would have to do music that's similar to that. So I really respect that you're like, yeah, this stuff I listen to, but I want to make all sorts of type of music. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And that's something I'd be able to do.
Well, I think we talked about it. I think we did talk about it last time too, but like I think pop music is like the best way to sell out. So like, and that's like what I'm trying to do. So.
Make that money, man. Make them stacks.
Well, it always boils down to are you having fun and do you enjoy what you make? Because if you hate what you make, then that's one thing. But if you're like, yeah, man, I like making this stuff. This is really, really cool, really fun.
I want to know about the bus ad. I love because I think something that if there's any musicians that end up listening to this that are up and coming and trying to make it as well, I think marketing and getting your shit out there is probably one of the hardest things for us in this podcast. It's the hardest thing for us to do is to get the name out. So you ended up taking an ad out on the side of a bus. I want just talk a little bit about your approach to marketing and getting this thing out. Also, what made you think about a bus? I love that, but what made you think that?
Yeah. So marketing's impossible. But so coming up with the bus ad was pretty easy actually, because like I was just driving around town and I saw a bus and it had ads on it, and I was like, I wonder how much that costs. And so I went to like the Grand Rapids city government website or whatever and like tracked down advertising on the Rapid, and then like found the ad agency and sent them an email, and it was like not that expensive. And it's like it's hilarious. Like I hit up my manager. Yeah, I hit up my manager and I was like, yo, should I, because like some bands and stuff, like even like smaller bands, but when I say smaller, I'm like they're still like popular in the scene and stuff, but like they'll get billboards in a city or something, and like that's usually pretty doable for like mid famous bands. But yeah, so I was like, I talked with my manager, and I was like, what's a step below that would be like a public transit, like putting yourself on a bus. And so we did it, and it's running around town right now. It's hilarious.
We were talking
so awesome.
before we went live. We were talking about how much of a bullshit like social media advertising is, and I was like, your money has gone farther with the bus ad than any social media ad you put out there, guaranteed. You may not be able to track who's seen the bus, but I guarantee you it's more legitimate people than a fucking social media ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the bus that runs. So like Grand Valley State University's campus is like 25 minutes outside of Grand Rapids in Allendale. And the bus that my sign is on the bus that like takes students to and from campus. So it runs from like campus into downtown Grand Rapids and stuff. And like, granted, it's the summer, so there's only 2 of those buses running all summer, but like the bus that my sign's on, like from 7 a.m. to like 10 o'clock at night, it's just running back and forth from like the college campus into downtown. And like, so yeah, I don't know. I might get some streams from it. Who knows?
That was a smart bus route to choose too, because you're hitting the key demographic that you're going to, because, you know, the next thing is to, you know, you start going back on the road again or doing tours. The college shows are going to be the next thing. So if you can drum up excitement.
Yeah.
Do you miss touring?
I miss touring a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It was one of the biggest joys in life, I'd say. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you have anything kind of coming down the pipeline where you can go out and tour again soon, or is that still kind of up in the air based on the current sickiness situation?
I know tours are getting announced and people are booking tours and going on tours and stuff. I doubt that I'll tour or perform this year, honestly. I mean, like, maybe, I like jokingly said in my NPR Tiny Desk submission, I was like, if the price is right, and that was a joke, but it's like, I don't really feel the need to like try super hard to do a bunch of really tiny shows. Like, if a really cool opportunity comes up, then I'd be more than happy to, but I'm not really going to like seek out doing a whole lot of shows this year, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, again, especially if it's one of those things where you've got other means to get your music out there and promote yourself and be heard. There's other things you can focus on. If that's not the thing that your whole career is hinging on, then why not take just a little bit more time?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, Jared says come to Australia, tour nonstop. He's our Australian super fan, and he's got connections for you.
I mean, I wish I could go down there.
That's better than I can do. Kudos to you, sir.
I mean, you could go down there. Let's be honest. I feel like you could go down there and probably be safer than anywhere in the States.
Are they letting people in?
That's also a good question.
Are they letting people from the States in?
You can sneak in.
It's a prison colony. How hard can it be?
All you gotta do is just swim through the Great Barrier Reef and you're good to go.
Yes.
No problem.
Done.
Yeah,
Easy.
ride a turtle.
They're like,
Right
you made it. Congrats. You know, they welcome you on the beach once you get there. That's phenomenal.
We got another one from Grand Rapids. For some reason, there's a great migration from Grand Rapids.
Yeah, a lot of expats down there. Jared says, I'll just quickly marry you, let you in, then we'll divorce. I'll just take half of your guitars.
There you go.
What are you talking about? Divorce? Let's run it.
Don't see where this goes, man.
Don't give up on it so early, Jared. Come on. We got to see what happens here. Oh, Jared. That's hilarious. Yeah, and write a song about it. There you go. I'm so excited for your EP and everything that's coming out, Austin. It's good. And again, everyone, you absolutely need to check it out. It's a great EP. It's you know, you should be very proud of yourself. It's a good piece of work.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll give you guys just one more real quick taste. There you go.
There's your teaser.
My favorite part.
Go listen to the song.
Hey, what's up, Cast Wave Studios? Good to see you, pal. Good to see you. And Jared said, told you he was the better Reno. Look at that. He is. He's the better Reno, I guess, according to Jared. I love it.
We can have a Reno off later on.
So, speaking of touring, Kid Rock is touring right now, in case you guys don't all know. And
Shocker.
He apparently is getting some shit for using a homophobic slur at a crowd while singing at a bar. For some reason, I just assumed... when I reviewed this last night, I was like, oh, he must have been... I just pictured him in an arena, you know, like large crowds, because my perception of Kid Rock is still the late 90s. And, you know, but now just reading this, it's like it was at a bar. I'm like, oh, this makes this even more interesting, because he's probably really salty about playing at a bar with him being Kid Rock. But the story goes that he was in Fish Lips Bar and Grill in Smithville, Tennessee, when attendees in the crowd began filming him on their phones. And he said, "Fuck your iPhone, yeah," the singer shouted. And then he's like, post this, post this. He started chanting while pointing to his legs, between his legs, which I think is hilarious. But then he goes, "You fucking F words with your phones." And then the video cut off before he could hear anything else he had to say. He's probably a pretty cool guy, for doing that.
Kid Rock is such a butt chug. The only cool thing that Kid Rock has ever done was be in the movie Joe Dirt, and that's like the only cool thing he'll ever have done in his life.
Oh my God. That's amazing. What I love too is I think we looked it up last night, and he's listed as like a rapper, I think is what he's listed as, which is like not, when I think of Kid Rock, I don't think rapper,
Yeah, that's false.
I was like, that is not correct. He's what? Robert James Ritchie, better known as Kid Rock and occasionally Bobby Shazam. What?
Yeah.
His name is Bobby. I got a story I could share with you.
Let's do it.
Bobby. It's not that much of a story, but I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't want him to get in trouble or anything.
Is it Kid Rock?
I know someone who works at Kid Rock's bar in Nashville. I know someone who works there, and they all call him Bobby, and he's a shithead, like IRL.
Shocker!
All that tracks so much.
Yeah.
Jared said Lin-Manuel Miranda is more of a rapper than both of them. He's going to run for, of course he'd run for president. Of course he would. Of
course he would. And guess who wouldn't vote for him? Most of America.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This guy
right here.
So that got me thinking, like, for a blip of a moment, I was like, I could kind of see as a performer how annoying that could be to some extent, right? Like, but I was thinking about it more through the lens of comedy, right? Someone is trying to work out their material, someone's recording them, you kind of bomb and people post it online. It's like, hey, this isn't a finished product yet. Go fuck yourself. Right. It's annoying. But then also, the idea that that's not the same with musicians, right? Music is kind of like the opposite of it, where you sort of build your stuff in secret and then you release it and play it for the world. And also, he's Kid Rock. Like, people are going to see him and be like, oh, fuck, check it out, it's Kid Rock. And they're going to, I would think that by now he would kind of be used to some of that stuff. So, but what I'm trying to get at is, like, I'm sure for a second that was pretty annoying and what he said was not cool. Although the part that was cool was him, like, film this pointing out his dick. That's hilarious. Have you ever done it, or have you been on tour or been in a show or anything where someone has done something that's really annoyed you, or have there been experiences while touring where you're like, God, this is so obnoxious?
Not that I recall. Like, I mean, we did like 150 shows for the band total, and I don't ever recall a moment of someone during the show like being super obnoxious and ruining everything, except for when it was me, like ruining everything on stage, like being stupid and drunk on stage.
What's something you did that was stupid that you feel like ruined?
And also 1 to 10, how drunk were you?
This was probably like an 8, but there was one time that straight up, like, because we used to like rock out and do a lot of jumping around and all that sort of thing, and there are multiple times just like the one in particular straight up just like fall over into the drum kit and like knock the whole drum kit over.
Oh man. Man, that's
not only does that probably end the show, but also your drummer's probably not thrilled.
Yeah, no, drummer not thrilled. Show, I don't think the show ended, but it didn't feel very good.
I was gonna say, I bet that really fucking hurt.
And then there's also like there's always like little times too, where like when I was playing guitar in the band, like me and the other guitar player would like whack each other with a headstock or something. Like stuff like that would happen, but no, honestly, like not anything like too bad.
Oh, that sounds like that would really hurt. Both of those.
It's fortunate though that you haven't really had any hecklers or anything. Because I mean, there are horror stories, obviously, of people like, people chucking food or drinks up on the stage, or just, completely just.
I just had a
berating
moment
you,
or I remembered I was I was deep in Missouri, and Goldfinger, the band Messed, and then a local band was playing at Rolla. I don't know if it's a university, but it was in Rolla, Missouri, baby. And I was like blown away. I'm like, whoa, Goldfinger's in Rolla. This is awesome. I went there with my brother, and the opening band, I've never felt so bad for a performer in my entire life. These poor fuckers are trying to do the best that they can, and people are started throwing pennies at them. Just chucking fucking change at them.
Oh, that sucks.
While they were playing, and I just watched everything about them just like crumble as people were just like, fuck you, just blah. And I just watched this guy, like, he was wearing like one of those really cheap plastic, like St. Patrick's Day green hats, and like people were just trying to hit him in the hat and stuff. He's like, come on guys, do you have to throw it? They're like, fuck you, and they just throwing it at him. And they went off the stage. I was like, God, that's so mean. And then Mest comes on, and they're like so excited. They're like, hey, I heard you guys are being real dicks to the last guys. And people start throwing change at him. He's like, what the fuck? I'm just kidding. And then Goldfinger comes up, and people are getting on stage, but they're not like stage diving. They're just hanging out on stage. And the lead singer literally stops the show. He goes, listen, when I grew up, if you got on the stage while a band was playing, you fucking jumped off. Like, he got so annoyed. I was like, what a bunch of... I'm like, yeah, these are my people. They don't understand how to act at a show. And that just left it just... I was. It was such an uncomfortable thing to be in an audience member.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. That I can't... But how do you, like... If someone had been doing that to you, what would you do? Would you walk off stage? What would your response be to getting pennies struck to you?
I don't know what my response would be. I think that I would try to play it off as funny or something. I don't know, but like the scene that we were a part of, like thankfully for the most part, was like it was like really inclusive, and most of the people in the scene were like really nice, and like shows were, just like full of nice people and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I can't say that I would have done anything because I'm sissy. But
well, I think that there's nothing you can do in a lot of regards, right? Like, you can't fight apathy. You can't fight disinterest. And I've heard a lot of performers say, I would rather get a boo out of someone than silence, because silence is just such pure indifference. Imagine playing your heart out, just rocking out, giving everything you got. You hit the last beat, you're like, yeah, it's just, nothing. You hear a couple coughs. Noise. Yeah.
Yeah, you just got.
Yeah.
You're like, there you go. Cool. That was no hesitation. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, it was.
I mean, we did get reactions of silence. We did get a lot of reactions of silence just because we played a lot of shows to no one. Well, that's just like a basement with two people in the middle of Pittsburgh. Like, it's gonna be silent probably.
Yeah,
I remember in high school we were in a rock band, and we played a couple backyard either birthday parties or like when people would have barbecues, and it was just at friends' places, and that was the most awkward because on a few of them, like, again, no one gave a shit. Like, we were more of an annoyance to them than anything, and so you got done, and everyone's back was to you, and they were just talking. You're like, "Thank you, good night." You're like, "Okay, we got one more song for you guys, and then we'll probably come and join you." And like, it's just the most awkward fucking thing.
Yeah,
hated it.
I did something similar to like I was in a cover band in high school, and I convinced the people planning prom to let us play, And they're like, sure. And they relegated us up to like, we were in the gym, but there was like this weird room up top where that's where wrestling practice was. So it had kind of like a balcony that overlooked everything and stuff like that. We set up there, but there were so many other activities like going on, and we were playing, and there was like nobody up there. Like we're just playing shit. Like, and there's just nobody's paying attention to us. And like the idea, the expectation of what I thought it was going to be versus what it was so disappointing.
Well, in high school, you think it's going to be like the show of your life, too.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
I've seen some, I can't remember what band it was, but there was a video of them where people were just being absolute dickheads. And they had stopped, and it was like a section of people. When they stopped and they basically said, hey, everyone, we want to keep playing for you, but unless these fucks get out, we're walking off stage. Your choice. And so the audience basically ushered them out. And I was like, that could go one of two ways.
I was like, that could go dangerously, you know?
Yeah, I was like, luckily this one, they just got bounced. But that was like, at the wrong show, at a Kid Rock show, they may, you're getting the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
I like the concept of it, of basically saying to the audience, like, cool, your guys' choice. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Oh, do you guys remember that video? I think it was of Akon back in the day where someone like threw a shoe at Akon on stage. And he told the crowd, he's like, bring him over to me. And they like grabbed him and from like 20 feet back and pulled him on stage. And Akon literally picks him up, puts him over his head, and just hucks him off the stage. You gotta watch that. That's crazy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm doing after this podcast is over. I'm looking up that video because that sounds awesome. Oh, there's also the lead singer of Tool, Maynard Keenan. He knows, like, he's like a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And there's this amazing video from like, I think either early 2000s where he's singing a song and this fan makes it up on stage, and they're in an arena. And Maynard just like puts his arms out like, come hug me. And the guy comes and hugs him. He fucking head throws him, puts him on a down and gets him in a hold. Doesn't miss a beat. Keeps singing his song. And he's just got the guy like pinned down on the ground and like in a hold.
For security to come over.
He's just got it. He's just basically like,
so sick.
I've got this. I was like, and then the fan's like, this is awesome. It's like, that's no, badass. Dude, you got fucking chucked, man. He's just sitting there, arms or whatever. He's in some weird hold. He's got him in like a leg lock or something like that. He's just like singing the whole time, not missing a goddamn word. It was amazing.
You can go down like a YouTube rabbit hole and just watch a ton of videos of like artists and bands like fighting people on stage, and it's all so awesome. Like Action Bronson has beat up like a few people on stage.
Oh, it's the same thing with like watching comedians just annihilate hecklers, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
my god.
Oh yeah. It's love that.
There's nothing like the justice of someone who can, because that same thing, like just was talking about, that could go wrong if you. I mean, what was Kramer? You know, Kramer tried to.
Michael Richard.
Yeah, he tried to control the room. Didn't do a good job.
Not so much.
No.
Didn't quite get the job done there. But when you see someone,
so good.
Not so good. But when you see like some people just like very just expertly take it, and they're able to turn the room against that one person, it's like, it's so good. It's so good.
Burnham's got a couple of good ones where like as soon as somebody talks, he's just like, shut the fuck up.
I love it. Someone goes, I love you. He goes, you don't love me. You love the idea of me. And he just keeps going. Like just.
That was Bo Burnham that said that?
Yeah.
Love that.
Just didn't miss it. This completely was ready for it. Like,
speaking of Bo Burnham. That new special is pretty great.
It's on my list. It's on my list. I'm actually, I feel bad because like I'm rewatching something I've already watched on Netflix, but it's something that's been in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to rewatch this. I'm like, Sweet Tooth just came out on Netflix. I want to check that out. I want to check out that special. Like, there's a lot of good stuff. Castaway Studios says Bill Burr is the best at dealing with hecklers. I mean, I think he's on the Mount Rushmore of dealing with hecklers. I mean,
Absolutely.
with Philadelphia alone, I mean, that was pretty epic. He dealt with a crowd of drunk Philadelphian jagoffs.
Ground for 11 minutes. Yeah.
He'd get him on his side, and he immediately turn it against him again, and he just kept doing that back and forth.
Austin, have you seen that one?
No.
Oh,
That's one that you got to look up after this. It's just, Bill Burr takes on hecklers in Philly. And it's just 11 minutes of, apparently they were being shitheads the entire, like all the different acts that were coming out. And so he came out and he was just like, cracks knuckles. All right. And he basically just tore them apart, eviscerated their city. And they were booing him. And he's like, your boos feed me. Fuck you. 10 minutes. And he was counting down the number of minutes left in his set. And by the end, he was roasting them and they were cheering for him. And he basically wouldn't let them cheer for him. Every time they cheered, he would go deeper on the digs. It was amazing.
You got to be quick on your feet to do that stuff. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, you got to be.
One of I'm not a big Joe Rogan fan, but there's that one of him like from back in the day where he's roasting this heckler who's like making fun of his Mighty Mouse shirt.
Yes,
and he's like, you wore that Affliction shirt thinking you look cool. I know I look like an idiot wearing this.
He's like, I bought this at Walgreens for $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that shit. There was another one I saw of Bill Burr where like some lady was like yelling from the back of the room. He goes, oh my God. He goes, I bet you're the kind of person that's in the house who yells down another floor to talk to somebody. And he was like mimicking what that is. And he goes, you must be an absolute miserable person to live with. And like the whole crowd is just losing their minds as he's like imitating her. It's the fucking best. I love that shit.
Yeah,
because that's such a weird like art form too, where people feel like they're there to engage with the person on stage. They're like, this is, you say something and then I say something. It's like, no, like, I'm going to ask you a question, but it's rhetorical. Unless I actually point to you and be like, hey, you, what do you do for a living and do crowd work? You know, like, shut the fuck up.
It's funny too how the mindset shifts between what kind of show you're at. Because at a comedy show, that is so easy for idiots to fall into that mindset. But at a concert, you know, it's usually people being jagoffs in the crowd to each other, but rarely is there any, like, no one's bringing an instrument and trying to out music the person on stage, you know? I don't understand like where that.
Well, the hecklers are always trying to be funny too.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they're always trying to like be a second comedian in the crowd thinking they're going to make the crowd laugh. And then they just always end up getting roasted.
Yeah. Because they're not funny. I think that's what it boils down to. And they think they are. They're the funniest person in their inner circle. It's like how I thought I was really good at Mario Kart because I played with people on my street. And then I dated a girl in high school who fucking knew how to do the skid thing. And she absolutely roasted my ass and destroyed me. And I was like, the internet wasn't even around yet for me to learn how bad I really was. And so that's the thing with comedy is people, they don't understand. That is one of my worst things is going where people think they're funny and they're like, hey, and they just give you like the worst, the easiest, low hanging fruit joke that I'm like, oh, hey, congratulations. Yeah, exactly. Cue it.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Hold.
There we go.
Squeaker.
Ooh, good push.
Sometimes you just got to breathe into the push, man.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a little bit of encouragement, you know? Hey, man, good push. Yeah, I think the only thing that would be the equivalent of at a comedy show, a heckler would be, and it's to quote a lyric from Sunrise Skater Kids is, you know, you get on the stage and steal the mic to sing all the notes wrong as you're singing like the best part of the song. They're just like, like, come on, man, everyone's ready. Oh, I remember too. I went to go see Yellow Card years ago, and they had that song. I can't remember the name of the song, but it was like kind of a softer song, and part of the chorus just goes into a really nice falsetto that, you know, that lead singer can hit because he's a fucking professional, and the crowd's singing along. And then as he hits that note, you hear all of this cacophony of like, as everyone's trying to hit it. And I just remember going, oh, oh, I know as an artist, it's got to be really cool to hear the shit sung back to you. But whenever it hits the note wrong, you got to be like, oh, God, it was so bad. So bad.
Yeah. There's on the opposite side of that, though, there's some supercut YouTube video that I've seen before where it's a series of musicians being surprised by their fans' talent, where they'll like bring a young person on stage and they're like, go ahead and finish this. And they just fucking belt the song. They just knock it out of the park. And the professional musician's like, oh shit, like this was amazing. And it's a feel good thing because you're like, oh, these people aren't going to get shit on. These people are going to be hoisted and celebrated.
I've seen Dave Grohl bring like kids on and like play Monkey Wrench on the guitar, like the entire song. So that's always pretty cool.
Oh, I went to a Newfound Glory show once and someone held up a sign that said, hey, Chad, can I play Hit or Miss? And so as they're playing it, he brought him up and the guy fucking like he screwed it up the whole time. Like Chad was sitting next to him, like trying to show him how to play it. And he got done and he goes, Jesus Christ, if you're going to come here and ask to play, know how to play the fucking song. I was like,
so the answer, so he wasn't requesting to come on stage. He was asking Chad, can I play this? And the answer was no, you cannot.
Do you want to see if I can? Was really what the question was. But he left out that first part because he only had so much space on his board, you know?
That's exactly it. Yeah. So moral of the story, buy a bigger poster board.
Exactly. You know?
Right.
But I was like, that's so cool. I'm like, actually, I know how to play it. I mean, but you don't see me holding up a sign because I still want to fuck it up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go to a show to you go to watch people play guitar, not to take their guitar and play their guitar.
Yeah.
Is this a guitar lesson? Can I come on stage and just have you teach me a Mixolydian scale?
Yeah. Oh, I do have a story that's kind of like that. Your Newfound Glory story though. So I've got a buddy who's in a different band in Alabama, and we were on tour playing a show in Alabama, and we had this one song that we'd like never really played anymore. It was in our old like set or whatever, and I hope he doesn't see this. Shout out to Tony. I love Tony, but he was like, dude, like, let's play that song and let me play bass for it. And I was like, we don't really play that song anymore, but like, if we can rally enough musicians in this room to play it, then like, sure. So we had Tony, gave him the bass, and dude, messed up the whole song. Wrong key, just bad. Love you, Tony, but bad.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. It's like, we can do this. It's like, okay, all right, let's see what happens.
Was there. It was such a I
know. And Tony's like the person I've ever met. He went like hella viral like 2 years ago because he did like a massive guitar swing with his bass that came like an inch away from like chopping this guitar player's head off. And the video went super viral, and they talked about it on like Kerrang and stuff. Like,
oh wow,
it was crazy!
That's amazing.
Yeah.
If someone in the chat can find that, post the link.
Yeah, that's amazing. I remember going to see.
I think on Reddit it was called like "Thanks for the haircut" or like "Do you need a haircut" or something, because like the bass was so close.
That is fucking scary, man.
Can you imagine just being on stage doing your thing, and then you look up right as the fucking head of it just comes right into your cheekbone? That would,
dude. And the guitar player who almost got decapitated wasn't even looking. He didn't even see it. He was had no idea.
Jesus Christ. I've seen a couple of those things too where that happens, where you know, they do the whole cool like, I'm gonna swing the guitar around and it's gonna come around and whatever. I was watching MXPX and Mike Herrera was singing and he goes, Dad, it gets caught on the mic cord that's in his pocket, and he's like, it gets caught, it's like and it falls down, and God bless him, he just grabs the mic and keeps singing, but it's a 3-person band with bass, guitar, and drums, and he's just like, and the guy comes out from the side of the stage trying to do it, and I'm like, I think I'm done with this, let's go home. And that was like the moment where I'm like, I like MXPX, but it's hot out here, and I don't really want to watch this anymore. And I walked away. I felt really bad for him. I was like, oh man. Because that stuff is always really cool, but it's like, you got to land it, man.
Well, have you guys seen the concert for George? When George Harrison passed away, they did a tribute concert, like Tom Petty and I want to say was it Jeff Buckley, or there was a bunch of musicians, Eric Clapton, and George's son were on stage, and they were playing. It was the big finale, I think. They were playing "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and they were kind of going to their solos, and everything was happening. And then Prince comes out and does a solo that fucking melts the room. It is insane, and everyone on stage just has this look like, this is why we bring this guy around. Fucking, he kills it. And at the end, he takes his guitar off, he throws it up in the air, and then walks off stage, and it doesn't come down. And like, it's one of those where you go, yeah, that's Prince. Like he's just fucking magic. Things just happen around him.
That's like God tier
yes!
performance, to just huck your guitar into the sky, disappears.
Anyone who's listening to this, look up "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" Prince and watch till the very end. He's done with it, and they hit that, everyone's doing their thing. Last note, he takes it off, chucks it, turns, and walks off. And that's it. It's the coolest, badass move I've ever seen.
I was waiting for you to say he chucked it, and then it fell and landed on someone in the audience, and that person is brain damaged now.
No,
because you know why? He left.
But this is the other thing, is that he just must have had people just like eyes on him all the time, because in the middle of it, he goes to the edge of the stage, turns around, and just falls backwards, and there's just a dude who pops out of nowhere and catches him, and then slowly puts him back up on stage. It's like, oh, here you go, buddy.
That's trust right there.
He is just you got to watch this. There was no one like him, man. There was no one like him.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's intense. That is wild. That's absolutely wild. Oh man. Yeah. So many good. It's funny because like talking about this stuff has drummed up a whole bunch of old memories of like just going to see shows, and how I most of them are pretty cool, right? Like not super memorable, but then there's other things I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened.
First concert, best concert.
Ooh, Austin, you start.
First concert, best concert.
Yeah.
I would say the first concert that I would count as like a real concert, because I was like a church kid and we went to like some like random worship shows and stuff, but like first concert, honestly, I think it might have been, first one I remember is the Reliant K and on the tour, and actually MXPX was on that tour, so that was like I think 14 years ago now or something like that. The best show was best show of me watching was I think at Warped Tour, and I saw Story of the Year, and they did a mashup of The Taste of Ink by The Used and their song Anthem of Our Dying Day, and they did like a mashup of it, and that was like those were literally like the two songs that got me into like rock music and emo music and stuff, and that was like the most magical, sweaty moment of my life.
Wow.
I love that.
That is so cool. How about you, Justin?
First concert was, and I can't remember which one came first, but it was either the Monkees or the Beach Boys. And with the Beach Boys, John Stamos was touring with them at the time, which was awesome. I can't remember which one came first, but I saw both of those real early on. Best concert was hands down the Foo Fighters. That was
Which one? You've been to so many of them.
I bet. Yeah, it was the second time I saw them at Wrigley. Man, that was a religious experience. Like something moved, something shifted in the universe on that show. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
And it was the tour after Dave broke his leg. So I saw him when he was on the throne, and then 2 years after that, I think they came back through Chicago, and that was that tour. And man, that was something else. That was something else.
Nice.
What about you, Doug?
My first concert was when I was in first grade, and it was New Kids on the Block. Boo, 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 boo.
Yes.
Yeah,
New
baby.
Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food make me sick.
Oh yeah. I'd say I had two like really memorable ones. The next super memorable one was the next concert that I actually went and saw, which was Phoenix TX, Bad Religion, and Blink-182. And that was like an amazing show where
That's crazy.
I showed up and like everyone was sitting down in the pit just waiting for the show to start, and Phoenix TX comes out and just starts going, and they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing sitting down? This is a punk rock show, get the fuck up. And everyone's like, that's the first time I've ever been there. I was like, what do we do? And everyone's like getting up and they're like, yeah. It was so much fun. It was so cool. And then I'd say the next memorable one was one of the last concerts I went to before Natalie was born. It was, can't remember who opened. It may have been
Kid Rock.
It was not Kid Rock, thank Christ. It was not Kid Rock. It was Motion City Soundtrack and The Wonder Years. And it was like, and one of my most memorable thing was The Force Awakens was about to come out, and the lead singer of Motion City Soundtrack was super Star Wars nerd. So their intro was just the audio from the trailer of The Force Awakens. And they just like,
that's sick.
It was dark. They had red lights show up, and it was just like they just played it. And when it was done, they just went right into it. I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, I just fucking love it. Like those guys were some of the hardest, like Wonder Years and Motion City Soundtrack. Though, I mean, those guys fucking perform. Like they were just so great. But some of my most memorable ones were in college. There was this tiny shitty venue in Iowa City called Gabe's Oasis. It doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it was, I don't know, maybe 100 people crammed into the room. And I saw My Chemical Romance there. I saw Census Fail. I saw a band I was really into, Rufio. And then when they were done, there was no green room. They just go hang out at the bar at the back of the venue.
God, that's so cool.
So I would go back there and be like, hi. And I was just like fanboy out over them. I was like, I'm going to go say hi. I'm going to go say hi. And they would just take pictures with them.
Still exists.
Does it?
I think Gabe's still exists because I know it's in Iowa, and I'm pretty sure it's in Iowa City, but we've played a venue called Gabe's twice.
It's just called Gabe's now.
Iowa.
It's not Gabe's Oasis.
And it's
just
a
Gabe's.
super cool venue. Yeah.
Oh, I miss this place so much. It was so, I don't know what it's like if they've redone or anything, but it's like very, just, it's small, it's intimate, it was awesome. And I had great memories of just being like, because Iowa City was like 40 minutes away from where I was going to college. So I'm like, I'm going to Gabe's. And tickets were cheap. Drive over there and fucking had a blast, man. It was the goddamn best. Goddamn best.
Yeah.
Those small concerts are cool. I remember driving up to Milwaukee in high school and seeing the Black Crowes at a standing room only theater in Milwaukee, and that was awesome.
That's Less Than Jake came to my hometown.
Really? Were they lost?
No, they were performing. I was like blown away. I'm like, why is Less Than Jake in Kirksville, Missouri?
Did they come for the good KFC? Because they heard there were two, and one of them was the good one.
Fart noise.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's the one.
That's a cuff fart noise right there. Yeah.
Good push.
Too hard. Dangerous. That was a danger zone sort of situation right there. But no risk, no reward. I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
that's cool that they came through though.
That was so wild. I was just like, I can't believe that this band is in my hometown right now playing. This is crazy. It is so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slotty says ZZ Top came to his county fair. That sounds right. I feel like that tracks.
Yeah, it tracks.
Yeah.
It tracks a lot.
Cool.
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 What is ZZ Top does that song
She's
crazy about a shop. Is that
dressed man? Yeah.
ZZ Top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got legs.
Yep.
She knows how to use them.
They also do LaGrange.
How?
Boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
What other ZZ Top songs do we know, guys?
I don't know. What else did they do?
I don't know any. I think there might have been one in Guitar Hero 2.
I think you're right, actually.
I'm sure there was.
Right.
I'm sure there was.
Actually, I think it might have been LaGrange. Because that one's got a real I would play it, but I could only play 0.7 seconds. You probably wouldn't get the full effect of what that guitar
I know it.
like.
I know it. I heard. Yeah,
You know it?
Yeah. I got it. I know exactly what that one is. Yeah, I'm not too in depth on the old ZZ Top discography. So
I am. I'm curious what 0.7 seconds of this song would be, though.
oh my God, here we go.
Got to do an ad first for Verbo. We're
God
just
bless
gonna mute
Verbo.
that.
Always.
I also thought it was VRBO. I never knew they pronounced it Verbo. I don't know if I like that.
Same.
There we go.
I mean, it's easier to say than VRBO. Okay, yeah, actually, I know exactly the song. I got it now. I know it. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I got it. That's amazing. I didn't think I would know it, but sure enough, I did.
I didn't think either, because I honestly thought it was. I thought it was a longer the sticks on the rim of the snare.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it had a longer intro. I'm like, Doug will never get it from that.
Usually I don't get these things, but I got this one. So
Yeah.
way to
Good
go,
for
you. Yay!
Yay! Have
Good
you
push,
guys?
Doug. Good push.
Thank
good
you.
Push.
Too hard.
That's another one of their songs, right? Yeah.
That would have been the best bet. You're like, hold on, let's play. Let's play 0.7 seconds in the song. You just play the fart noise. It's just like, okay.
I got actually. I don't know. I just got this one. It says 0.7 seconds of "Summer Girls" by LFO.
There it is. I hear it. I get it now. I remember that one. High school. Yeah, baby.
Right.
I got it.
Yep. That was from the second verse, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna need a moist towelette for that one.
No, Slotty, in all seriousness, Billy Gibbons is a goddamn legend. I do like ZZ Top. I'm not. I couldn't, tell you their entire catalog, but I straight agree with you, Slotty. So,
They're obviously good, right?
I mean, they had a career.
Yeah.
Am I right?
A lot of people have careers.
like Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
right?
Kid Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. Did you? It turns out that Rob Zombie is going to be doing a Munsters reboot. Speaking of music and crossovers, right? Are you a fan of Rob Zombie at all, Austin?
No. And I don't know what I read the article about that. I don't know what the Munsters is. I've never listened to Rob Zombie's music, but I have met him and his girlfriend one time.
Really?
Nice people, just nice people, honestly. Yeah.
That's wild.
Okay.
Where did you meet him?
Also, I feel very old now.
I was a valet. I was a valet at a nice hotel, so like famous people would come through, and Rob Zombie was there for a few days.
That's awesome.
I don't know if I could pick him out from a crowd. Like if he was just walking through, I would say
think
like
you could.
But I would look at him and go, you gotta
honestly-
look, but I don't know if I could say, oh, Rob Zombie. I would look at him and go, he's famous.
Because I don't really know. I didn't really know what he looks like or know what he looks like that much either. But like seeing him in person, even if I had never heard his name before, I think I would be like, that looks like a Rob Zombie to me. I think that's Rob Zombie. Yeah. Because he looks like Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
He's got a very
Okay.
distinct look. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Are you familiar with his movies at all?
No, but I think I watched his episode of Cribs back in the day, and I know that he's like a big horror.
Yeah.
I mean,
Huge
it
in
really
horror.
was, because he's got like horror movie like stuff everywhere.
Yeah, the only thing I think I've seen of his was his remake of Halloween. And outside of that, like I haven't seen like House of a Thousand Corpses or anything, because that stuff just seemed like gross for the sake of gross. So I'm like, I'm good. So I find it interesting that he's doing the Munsters, reboot, which was, what was that, 60s? Whenever, like just
Early
spooky family, situational comedy, kind of like Addams Family sort of shit.
Well, it wasn't just the spooky family. It was Frankenstein's monster married was it Frankenstein, the bride of Frankenstein, and Dracula was her father, so the father-in-law, and then Eddie Munster was the werewolf, and I think the daughter was like a blonde bombshell that was just normal. And then they had a dragon as a pet that lived under the stairs. It was situational comedy, but it was like the Universal monsters came into a house and then had a situational comedy born from that.
How could it fail?
Yeah.
Also, an odd one for Rob Zombie to take on, it seems.
I mean, it seems like he's a huge fan of it. Like that's like been his passion project for the last 20 years is to get this off the ground and do it, which I'm like, cool. But based on his, repertoire, I'd be like, so you're making this. I mean, who's to say, right? I mean, the fucking their names are escaping me. The guys who did Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War, the Russo brothers, right?
Oh, yeah.
They originally were directing episodes of Community, right? Who would have thought they could handle a fucking Marvel movie, multi-movie franchise, that was so action-packed and amazing. So, I mean, anything's possible. I don't want to write someone off, but I'm just like, he's got a very distinct backstory that involves a lot of interesting, heavy music, some pretty heavy horror movies. It's like, you take this old 60s situational comedy, and let's see what you got. I
could see, though, where someone like him would be in his youth be influenced by a show like this, because they were kind of like the original emo goth. Like that was that movement in the 60s before that was even a thing. So I could totally see where he would have gotten into that maybe. And maybe he's getting older, he's getting up there in years. Maybe he's looking to turn a soft side, I don't know. Maybe.
Well, is he making a reboot? Is it a TV show or is it going to be a movie?
I think it's unclear. I thought it was going to be a TV show, but maybe I'm wrong. What does it say?
Does it say in the article? Yeah, I just closed the tab.
Announcing his latest film. Reboot. Film. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
I'd watch it. It sounds interesting. I don't see why not.
The thing is, I would 100% watch it. Absolutely. I'll check it out because if nothing else, out of just morbid curiosity of what this is going to be. I can't imagine it would be nearly as bad as the Three Stooges movie that they did a few years back. Can't imagine that it's got to be better than that, right, guys? Come on, right? Please tell me yes.
Man,
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, neither did I.
Neither did I, but I know of it.
It had Snooki in it, so I mean, that's
it had Snooki in it, really?
Yeah, Snooki was in it, which it was like. I was so confused because that was such a specific form of comedy from decades ago that does not translate to today. Like it's just that sort of slapstick nonsense. Like it doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't work. It's not who we are today. We're much more cynical. We're much more, there's a lot of darkness in us to have something like, it's just not. It's not going to work.
That was like the beginning of TV too, wasn't it? So like, it's just in its early stages. That's what I don't know. It's just it was easy to make people laugh by slapping someone.
Right. It was like vaudeville
which
stuff.
Still is funny to this day.
Yeah.
Kind of, but
well, here's the other thought too: is that this Rob Zombie movie, he might do like an R-rated Munsters reboot where it's super fucking dark and the pet dragon under the stairs actually consumes visitors, and Dracula grandpa, straight up murders people. Who knows? I don't know. It could be anything. It's Rob Zombie.
I'd be okay with that. Show me that Munsters movie.
Yeah. There's another movie that Rob Zombie's producing, which I'm very, very keen on seeing. And if I remember correctly, the title is Welcome to the Throwdown. Oh yeah.
We're here, baby. We're in the Throwdown.
Forgot about this.
Hell yeah.
Surprise, surprise, Austen.
Oh, Dougie, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I've been ready. Let's do this. This week's Throwdown is Kid Rock versus Rob Zombie. That's right. Noah called it. He called it.
There it is.
Well done. So now it makes sense why you wanted to make sure we covered that before we finished. I get it now.
You got it.
I got it.
Well, I always want to cover Rob Zombie before I finish.
Of course, yeah. So let's break these guys down, right? We got two pretty. I mean, and Noah, I think, or Jesus, I knew it was going to happen. Austen, greatest apologies. Greatest apologies.
Like my mom.
Bad push, Doug. So you've seen Rob Zombie. You know his stature. You know, what he. I
know enough.
You know enough. I think we know enough about Kid Rock just from what we've seen. I don't know how old they are. How old is he? So
Rob Zombie's got to be in his late 60s.
Well, Kid Rock's 50. Rob Zombie is 56. Okay.
Oh.
So we're close. We're close.
Relatively close. So
Rob Zombie is 5'10". Where is he? Grew up in Haverhill, Massachusetts.
Okay.
What do we got? Well, we know where Kid Rock grew up because he won't shut the fuck up about it.
Where's he from? Florida?
Detroit.
Florida.
Florida. Yeah, he may as well be. Detroit's the Florida of the Midwest.
Oh, where's he from? Dallas?
Montpelier?
He's from Detroit, Florida. Oh, God. All right. So
what do you got?
At what point do we call him Senior Rock? Nice cast wave. Oh my God.
Mr. Rock.
Can you hear me, Mr. Rock?
Actually, he's from Romeo, Michigan.
Yeah. Where the fuck is that, Austen?
I think that's like it's probably a suburb of Detroit somewhere on the east side of the state, I would assume.
Oh my God. It's
population 3,500.
It looks very small.
It's a village.
Yeah.
Very tiny.
It's popping, for sure.
Just northeast of the
Jake
Pine.
Did not play there.
Just northeast of the Pine Valley Golf and Country Club.
This episode of Mind Gap Podcast brought to you by the Pine Valley Country Club.
There we go. A lot of golf courses all around there, man. They know what they're doing. So,
yeah.
I feel like both of these guys have some fight in them. Kid Rock obviously has a lot of anger, a lot of pent up disappointment. I don't know if it's self-hate, but he's definitely got a chip on his shoulder. So I feel like that could be used to his advantage if he wants to turn on the old rage button, or he could easily be tilted into making a bad decision. So that's kind of just my initial analysis of Mr. Rock.
Apt analysis.
I would say Rob Zombie, if you look at him, there's a depth of darkness there, but it's controlled. He has a mastery over it. And I feel like he can call forth on that whenever he wants. And really, he's got like that psychopathic, tendencies, but it's very controlled. He can use it to his advantage.
He's like a werewolf.
Right, like Eddie Munsters.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like Rob Zombie, you don't make movies like he has without really confronting your darkness. Those things are pretty gruesome from my understanding. They're pretty violent. And,
Slotty says Rob Zombie is clearly well-versed in dismemberment techniques.
Yeah. He seems like the kind of guy that, he doesn't get provoked easily.
Right.
But he also seems like the kind of guy that after about a month or so, he's like, I really need to kill someone. And when he does, he's like totally chill. He like totally like takes someone's life and he's like,
you just need to scratch that itch.
Right.
He kind of like when it's done, he comes out, he's like, Whew, man. I need a nap. And he's like, just goes and lays down and then hops back up. He's like, all right, who's up for mini golf? Just, ready to move on with his life.
It's like a smoker, hasn't had a cigarette all day and he finally scratches that itch and he kills someone and he's like, comes back inside and he's like, all right, honey, I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's like, all right, I'm better now. That's cool. So what were we saying?
Yeah.
Dinner. Yeah. Roasted potatoes. Yeah. I'm all over it.
Right.
So yeah,
I am picturing if I'm picturing Kid Rock and Rob Zombie fighting, I'm picturing Kid Rock being like super drunk and like basically trying to get in a bar fight, and then Rob Zombie is like, "You don't want to do this, man. You don't want to do this, man." And he kind of is like, "Stop!" And then Kid Rock just keeps poking the bear. And then Rob Zombie has like a button on his shoe that like a knife comes up from his foot, and then he like kicks Kid Rock in the face and like slices him in half. That's how I picture it. So I'm going Rob Zombie on this one. To be honest.
Is brutality. Exactly.
I don't think we can get any better than that, personally.
Yeah. The only thing that could make it better is just like as he does it, as like Kid Rock, he like stabs him in the eye with his boot knife, and then he like takes it out, and as like he catches him by the face, he just kind of leans in and he just like whispers something horrific, like a recipe to something, or it's like grocery list, and then Kid Rock just dies like not only horrified but confused.
It causes Kid Rock's soul to actually escape his body. Yeah. Very similar to the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You know how he drinks from the wrong cup?
Yeah.
His whole, like, whatever Rob Zombie whispers to him, just like Kid Rock just crumbles. He fades.
He fades away.
Drains out of him.
Yeah. It's
He deflates.
Exactly.
Slice.
Go ahead.
Slice says Rob Zombie wears a cowboy hat that's bladed. He throws it decapitating Kid Rock.
Boom.
Who is he? Kung Lao? What is this?
Like a boomerang.
Finish him.
That's it. So I think
they should actually add Kid Rock and Rob Zombie as like video game characters in something. Like
they're
Mortal
gonna come to
Kombat or
Fortnite.
Smash Bros.
Oh yeah, they'll be in Fortnite, right?
Yeah, they're going to be in Fortnite for sure.
Because why not? Because everything's in Fortnite. Rick and Morty are coming to Fortnite, so there you go. Fucking Fortnite. Anyway, I'm definitely saying Rob Zombie for the win.
Rob Zombie for the win!
Whew, man, that was great. That was phenomenal. Austin.
Choked myself up.
Choked yourself up. Don't cry, Justin. Not again. All right? We can't do it. All right?
Sorry.
Good push, Justin. Good push.
I'm going to let it run the entire time. One more.
Oh,
God. Kid is so not happy.
He did that to a brand new father who was on here, and the guy was like,
lactating.
He's like, anyway, Austin, thank you so much, man. This was such a fucking pleasure having you back on here and chatting with you about stuff, man. You're just the best.
Dang, I really appreciate you guys having me. It's always nice to catch up. So should do it again sometime, I'd say.
For sure. One more time, tell everyone where they can find you. Anything, obviously you want to promote your stuff. And then if there's anything you'd recommend, movies, books, TV shows, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Again, austenreno.com, austenreno.com. All the links on everything are there. Music or Drivin 25 comes out this Friday, June 11th on all platforms. So you should listen to it. As far as music goes, I would recommend that. Kind of said it earlier, but like I think everybody should probably watch Bo Burnham's new special Inside. It is truly a work of art. Yeah, man, that's gonna be it.
That's awesome. I'm totally checking that out. Justin, what do you got?
So when Drew was on last time, he sounded so hurt and so just pining for someone to talk to about this, because Seth won't listen to it, or Seth won't watch it, apparently. Drew is very upset at him right now. So I thought,
fuck me, slutty.
And I just dove right into Devs on Hulu. And so I think everyone should watch the show and talk to Drew about it. You can hit him up at the Drew Doll on all social medias. Find him and just randomly message him thoughts on this show. Because I'll say legitimately, it is very, very good. I really, really enjoyed it. Nick Offerman, it's not funny at all. It's terrifying. But it's really, it's a great show. And then also Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus. Check that out. Doug, what do you got?
I just want to say, if you're listening to the podcast, you just missed a beautiful moment where Austin lost his mind when Justin played that sound clip. So I just watched him try to center himself and breathe, and it didn't work. We come to
I was crying.
We come to play. Speaking of coming to play, I recommend the new game that's out called Knockout City. It's a fucking awesome game. It's from EA, but don't let that deter you. It's great. It's essentially futuristic 50s dodgeball, and you play on teams of 3 or 4, and it is a goddamn blast. And we are trying to recruit people on our Discord to get it so we can actually get a crew together. But Slotty, Noah, and I have been rolling. Zenny's joined the crew. Jared's got it too. It's so much fun. Go check it out. It's only $20. You can also play it for free. I think you can level up to like level 20 or 25 or something like that. So you can totally go check it out. But it's $20. It's totally worthwhile to get it. We've been having a blast. And probably going to be streaming that again this Saturday. So just saying, check that out.
What's it called again?
Knockout City. And I highly recommend it. So, what's up, Justin? Why are you so excited?
Well, so Steam does not allow for it to be played on a Mac. However, there is a Knockout City Dodgeball app that I'm wondering, because you know how we can play Among Us, right? I have to go on my phone to do that, but we can still play in the same room. I'm wondering if this will connect to the same server you guys.
Boy, that would be wild if you could pull that off. I'd be really impressed.
We're gonna find out.
Woo! Speaking of stuff you could find out more about Mind Gap Podcast on all of our social medias at Mind Gap Podcast. Check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mind Gap Podcast. Hit that follow button, turn on the notifications. We'll let you know when we go live. You can come hang out with us like all these other cool people that are here right now. We stream Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Central and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Central, so come hang out with us. It'll be great. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. We post all of our episodes as well as some of our highlights there as well. And you can also follow Justin online as well.
That's right. On Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's a fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, all the places you can find and consume the podcast. Rate us, review us, share us, like us, all the things you can do. And the big one is sharing. If you can just copy the link to an episode that you are quite fond of and share that out, it would go so far for us because people love personal recommendations. And then 2east8th.com/mindgap, and then keep an eye on all of 2east8th's social medias as well. And don't forget, find Drew and talk to him about devs.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it.
He's gonna love all the attention.
Once again, Austin, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was a goddamn delight.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was a gosh dang delight. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Oh, well, with that being said, Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Twitch, thank you.
Listeners, thank you.
And you all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.